The first chapter that I wanted to do was the chapter on fats. And the reason why I wanted to choose the chapter on fats is because for a lot of people, solving fats is a big part of the nutrition puzzle. And fats basically provide your body with 9 calories per gram that you intake. So they tend to be a pretty energy dense source. Fats and carbohydrate are both fuels for your body. Protein can be converted to a fuel for your body, but fats and carbs are the primary sources. And so one of the arguments for fats as a good energy source for your body is that the energy that you get from fats is much more sustainable and doesn't quite cause the spiking because fat tends to be have a blunting response on your insulin. So when you get hungry and you're relying on a lot of your energy from fats, your hunger is much more stable and doesn't spike out of control. It doesn't mean that you don't eat carbs at all. It just means that you have them both as energy sources. So I'm going to go over some foods that you would eat as fats, and a couple of the sources in regards to taking a negative saturated fat and turning it into a positive saturated fat would be the example of grass-fed beef. Because grass-fed beef is high in omega-3s, it sort of changes the ratios that you have as it relates to omega-3 and omega-6s, both of which are essential fatty acids, but the good majority of our diets tend to be dominant towards omega-6s. And so when you can eat grass-fed beef or wild-caught fish, it tends to sort of change the equation. Now, the first product I'm going to show you is omega-3 fish oil pills. These are actually enhanced with vitamin D, both of which are anti-inflammatory. Vitamin D because it's just naturally anti-inflammatory, but the fish oil pills would be get rid of your inflammation because of the dominance towards omega-6s in most of our diets. The next thing I'm going to show you is actually an omega-6. It's sunflower seeds, but I eat them as a snack, typically unsalted, and because my diet is high in omega-3s, it doesn't tend to be an issue for me, but it wouldn't be something that I would suggest that you would want to make as a big part of your diet. Nuts also tend to be really energy dense, so they're very easy to overeat, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to use it as an example. You want to keep your nut intake relatively low. In terms of cooking oils, I use ghee. A lot of times when I'm cooking my eggs, I'll use ghee, and ghee is clarified butter, and it takes out the lactose and the casein, which are some of the negative aspects of butter. But if you use grass-fed butter, as an example, some of the fats actually work in your favor. Once again, we kind of get into the saturated fat. I'm not going to get too much into this, but saturated fats in general kind of have a negative connotation. Most people think of saturated fats negatively. When you can get them from good sources, it actually tends to be one of the things that moves your HDL. And if you look at sources of HDL, it almost exclusively comes from saturated fats, and so solving saturated fats tends to solve a lot of the cholesterol issues that a lot of people have. Lastly, I'm going to go over a couple saturated fats, one of which is coconut oil and the other being coconut milk. In the case of coconut oil, I use that in replacement of vegetable oils, and it provides a medium chain triglyceride, which once again positively affects cholesterol. And so when you could cook with medium chain triglycerides from coconuts, that tends to be a good thing. Also, light coconut milk. I kind of wish Trader Joe's had a regular version of coconut milk, but they do not. One of the reasons why I use the Trader Joe's brand is because they have BPA-free cans. That's one of the things that you want to look out for when you buy coconut milk. I use them for a lot of smoothies right before I go to bed, and they usually provide me for a lot of energy the following day. I use them for workouts, but in general, I think they tend to be a positive thing. Last thing I'm going to say on the coconut milk cans, Chris Kresser had an article, and maybe I'll put that in the link for this video, and it talked about which brands are good for BPA free and which aren't, and I think that's going to be the end of this video. Thanks.